$900,000 on gifting people on TikTok Live. Gifting her favorite influencer often took precedence over meeting her basic needs. What's up, little enzymes? Welcome back to Dacia's Digest. The topic of today's video is addicted to gifting on social media. The fact that I can do an entire video on this is crazy, but we'll get into it. Before we start, some church announcements. I want to say thank you so freaking much to the homegirl healer who bought me not 5. Let me not get it wrong. 10 coffees, 10. So I sip today to you, my good sis. Thank you so much. Wait, here we go. Thank you so much. I really, truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. There's also a couple other people who I can't remember if I acknowledged these already. So just in case, Annalise Megan bought me a coffee, Bree bought me a coffee, and then someone who's anonymous bought me a coffee. So thank you guys so much. If you don't want me to shout out, because before some people have said they don't want me to shout out, they just want to gift anonymously. When you gift on the Buy Me a Coffee website, just put someone or anonymous as your name so that I'll know. Or if you're doing a super thanks, just type it in the comment that you don't want me to shout you out, and I won't. But it is always truly appreciated. I do not do this full-time. Sometime soon, I'm manifesting that I will be doing this full-time, and your guys' gifts and super thanks and everything else, support, commenting, liking, sharing, all of that really helps me towards being able to do this full-time and not have sleepless nights and hopefully be able to actually post at 10 a.m. Eastern every day. I know sometimes I'm a little bit late, like today. Anyways, yeah, so thank you so much. So let's get into the video. Child, I came across, serendipitously, I saw these two different stories on two different platforms, and then I found a third story on a whole nother platform. So we skipping all around the internet today. The first one is a story that I saw on TikTok where this woman in Texas spent $900,000 in stolen money on gifting people on TikTok Live. I kid you not. Let's just watch this.
She spent her money on TikTok.
$1.2 million. That's how much money Stacey Blackman pled guilty to stealing from a former employer while giving most of that money to influencers on the social media app.
Let's just keep going.
TikTok.
A trusted individual. She was deceptive upon deceptive upon deceptive.
Blackman worked as an office manager for a high-end home building company in Southlake. In 2019, she began using a bank account of a senior partner who unexpectedly passed away, according to the Tarrant County District Attorney's Office. Did he have any family members who were wondering where this money might have been, or did they just not know there was any money?
So the money was stuck in probate. Stacey Blackman actually befriended the heir of this senior partner and was helping her figure out where all he had accounts and all of this. And so she was literally walking through this with the person she was victimizing.
Blackman used a company credit card to send nearly $900,000 through PayPal to TikTok.
And she was...
To TikTok! Ma'am, you already stole $900K, almost 1 million bands. Almost 1 million. And instead of being the smart criminal that you are, and it was already wrong that you stole it, but you in it now. So take that $900K and go invest it in something, buy something, shoot, go off the grid. You almost a millionaire. You literally can do anything with that money. And she sat there and gave it away to people on TikTok. That just shows you it's an addiction, because that defies all logical sense. If I'm coming up on $900K, now granted she gained her money through nefarious means, but If I legitimately come up on 900K, there's no way I'm just gonna be sitting on TikTok live. Here's a lion, here's a galaxy, just giving it away. Listen to her reasoning. Her reasoning is crazy.
He was using that bank account that had his life savings in it to pay that credit card.
So why TikTok? Well, prosecutors say Blackman was using the money to tip social media influencers on live streams in hopes of building her own following. Blackman.
So if you guys are not familiar with TikTok, when you're on TikTok live, your people who are watching can send you gifts very similar to like the super thanks or like things of that nature, but it has like an emoji, I guess is what it would be called, like some kind of animation that shows on the screen that shows that you gift, and it has your name. And so a lot of times on these TikTok live streams, when you send a bunch of gifts, these animations will just be popping up. It's kind of like this sensationalized thing. And sometimes the person who's going live will say, hey, whatever this girl's name is, Blackman. Hey, Blackman is, top gifter. Everybody go to Blackman's profile and follow her. Type Blackman in the chat. And they'll like really hype it up, try to get all their followers to follow that person who's like gifting. So I'm assuming that's what she was doing, going into all these different people's lives, gifting all this money in hopes that they would like shout her out and she would gain followers. I literally feel like this is a Black Mirror episode. Like, there's no way you're telling me that instead of taking this sum of money that you have siphoned out of this dead man's account, rest in peace, you just gave it all away on TikToks because you wanted to become an influencer? There's so many different ways. Honestly, she could have just paid for a mentor or something. Like if she really wanted to become an influencer, she had plenty of money to pay for like a mentor that could help her navigate social media, figure out the best ways, walk hand in hand. For 900K, you got to be kidding me. So that wasn't all that she spent the money on, but a majority. So in total, she stole like 1.2 million, but the majority of that 900K literally went to TikTok, which is crazy. But then the other, like, what would that be? 400, 300,000 she spent on some other stuff. Let me play the video.
Also purchased a suite for Dallas Mavericks games, lavish trips, and more.
She didn't buy any assets. She didn't put the money anywhere.
Exactly. Even the lady is confused. She didn't buy any assets. She didn't put the money anywhere. How? Like, you were smart enough to figure out how to steal the money and then you just squandered it all. There's no way. She spent all that money on looking like she had it all when she really didn't. That's just the social media sickness.
Had nothing to offer to pay back that was comparable to the amount that she stole. She went ahead and stole another $400,000 from the business as well.
Blackman's employer ultimately caught on to the theft, which led the company down a rabbit hole. Realizing theft had been going on for several years, Blackman was indicted in 2022.
She is extremely intelligent. She only ever graduated from high school, but that is no measure of how intelligent you are or how good you are at figuring out how to hide money. And she is very good at that.
That's just so crazy to me. There's just no way. 900. You gave it all away on TikTok. So I'm reading some of the comments on this video. The first comment says, somebody Stacey Blackman me. I'll never understand spending money on a bunch of random people on live, let alone 900K. Somebody said the term intelligent is used extremely loosely here. Somebody said, well, I would have been in Thailand living my best life. Another person, actually not really very bright. I would have turned that money 5 times over and paid that stuff back. Yeah, that's just crazy. All that money just to try and become a influencer. It's not necessary. It's really not, like, and then you have nothing to show for it. She can't even pay it back. Let me see if there's any other stories about her. Stacey Blackman.
And spent most of it on TikTok in an attempt to boost her presence on social media. This week, a Tarrant County judge sentenced Stacey Blackman to 35 years in prison.
Dang, she got 35 years in prison. I'm on another video on TikTok about this. 35 years in prison, North Texas. She's from my state, too. I'm from Texas. I don't think I've mentioned it, but I'm from Texas. Born and raised. And she making us look bad.
Prosecutors say she also used stolen funds on other lavish expenses. Fox 4's David Sintendry spoke with prosecutors. David.
Well, the Tarrant County District Attorney's Office says Stacey Blackman spent about $1 million of stolen money on TikTok coins and then gave those TikTok coins to influencers in hopes of growing a following of her own.
She spent her money on TikTok.
That's the same video we just saw.
$1.2 million. That's how much money Stacey Blackman pled guilty to stealing from a former employer while giving most of that money to influencers on the social media app TikTok.
A trusted individual. She was deceptive upon deceptive upon deceptive.
We already saw that part, but dang, so she got 35 years in prison. I mean, listen, you do the crime, you do the time. That's a lot of money to steal. 35 years, I think, is a little much, but also it's Texas, and we don't play in Texas at all about anything. They are pretty strict out there, so yeah, it's not surprising that she got that much. They're probably also trying to make an example of her to deter people from doing it. Oh, Lord, this poor woman caught a stray. So there's a woman, ironically, who looks like the Stacey Blackman TikTok gifter. She's not her, but she also is named Stacey. And so people found her page and were like harassing her, I guess. I'm reading this article off of Daily Mail UK, and it says, woman stunned after being mistaken for a Texas thief who stole $1.2 million from company to fund her TikTok career. A Texas woman who was mistaken for a lookalike thief who swindled $1.2 million from her company to fund her TikTok career has spoken of her shock. People have been flocking to the TikTok account of a user who goes by Stacy7676, wrongly believing she is Stacey Blackman, a Dallas woman who just pleaded guilty to embezzling the large sum from her employer. So they have a picture of the two side by side. Not gonna lie, they do look alike. And it's quite ironic that they have the same name. So I guess people were going to this woman's account and like trolling her, which that's one thing I want to say, guys. We have to be a little bit more diligent in fact checking, okay? I see it all the time where someone will say something on social media or post a viral video and people will like immediately believe it, which is very concerning. Very concerning. The way that we are so easily duped into like believing things. That's not healthy. Always question everything you see, everything you hear. Don't just accept things as fact, because that's how societies become controlled. And I'm no like conspiracy theorist or anything like that. I believe in like looking at what's factual or looking at what can be proven, not just going down the rabbit hole of like different theories. But in reality, like if I could just make a video, sensationalize it, say this person did that, this person did this, make it look real. And especially with the AI coming out these days, like y'all really gotta just not be watching stuff and just take it as fact, you know? Anyways, that's just a little side note tangent, because I see it happen all the time and I just really feel bad for our society. So the article says, after Blackman, the actual woman who was sentenced to 35 years in prison for her crimes this week, a different woman who is her lookalike and shares her name on TikTok was flooded with comments and views. So she got the TikTok fame that Stacey with an I was wanting. So at least somebody came up off the 900 case. At least somebody benefited off of what Stacey with an I was trying to do. So let me go look at her video that she posted on her TikTok. This is it.
So had to stop my dinner to come on here because the comments are way out of control on all of my videos. All of the people that have no life that are on TikTok 24 hours and hear something on the news and instantly try to find the person have all stumbled up across my TikTok because my name is Stacy, S-T-A-C-Y. The lady that was arrested in Dallas is S-T-A-C-I. Her last name starts with a B, mine starts with a C, and we do not look anything alike. So y'all need to get better FBI skills and continue trolling because y'all stumbled upon the wrong one. But I love all the views I've gotten, the comments. Thanks for boosting everything. But ladies, y'all seriously need to, sharpen up them skills because I don't know how y'all are comparing that we even look anything similar or that, oh, she has the same name. That's got to be her. It's the same name. Ha, ha, ha. No, honey, it's not. And there's so many people in the world named Stacy, but mine is CY and I don't live in Dallas and I don't look anything like her. But thanks for the views.
Yeah, and it's ironic that she also lives in the South. She sounds like she lives in the South. Anyway, child, there's another one. Stacy wasn't the only person spending all her money on TikTok. I was watching this show that I like to watch called The Ramsey Show, and this guy confessed to spending $50,000 on Twitch in the same manner that Stacy with the I did, but on a different platform. Child, listen to this. If you guys are not familiar with The Ramsey Show, it's a show that's been around for a long time. Started with this gentleman named Dave Ramsey. He helps people get out of debt. He has this whole multi-step program that people can join in. But recently, he has had different hosts because he's on his way out to retirement. He'd been doing the show since I was a kid, way back in the day. Well, I'm not that old, but so recently he has different hosts. And this gentleman on the left, he is a therapist, psychiatrist, something like that. And so he gives more of the therapy type advice. The lady on the right, she focuses on the more money type advice. So people call in and then they just try to get advice on whatever the problem is. So I was watching this episode the other day and I'll just play it.
So I guess I don't know how to even start. So I guess in the last year, I've been building up some debt, kind of hiding it from my family, and it all recently came out and pretty much just tearing apart my family at this point. So
how much debt, man?
About $50,000.
Are you?
It's all credit card.
What are you buying?
Listen, okay, $50,000 in credit cards is crazy. That's somebody's yearly salary that you have in debt. The amount of anxiety I would feel if I had that much in debt, I would be eating rice and beans, doing everything I could to pay that off.
So that's the worst part is not really buying anything. It's actually streaming. So I used to play video games a lot. I'm actually in the military, so I used to play video games as a way to kind of cope. And basically, I got into streaming and watching other streamers play video gaming and kind of help pass the time, and especially when I'm at work. And I kind of got into the whole gifting subscriptions. Couldn't really control it. I can say I've never been addicted to anything ever in my life. But
that's a lie. That's a lie. If you have $50,000 in consumer debt just from gifting on Twitch, that's an addiction, bro. That is certifiably an addiction.
You can't.
Has got to be the closest thing.
Yeah, you can't.
Well, you're right. I can't say that. Yeah, I guess.
The definition of addiction is a pattern of behavior that continues after the person knows that it is hurting me, and I continue to do it anyway. Can I tell you, Alex? And this is me just being straight up with you. I don't know if I fully believe you. What else were you spending? $50,000. I only see that in extreme, you suddenly have somebody else that you're courting, or you're struggling with drugs, you're struggling with gambling.
So this is Dr. John Deloney. I've referenced him a couple times on this channel because he has a separate branch of the Ramsey Show where he specifically does calls for like mental health therapy type stuff. But sometimes they mix him into like the money type stuff. But anyway, he obviously is not believing it. It's like, there's no way you spent $50,000 on just gifting on Twitch. But the man really did. Like, he's thinking maybe the man has like an affair or like he's doing something else, but literally it's $50K only on Twitch.
It honestly, I know it sounds crazy, but that literally is it. It was.
You're just sitting there watching Twitch and you're just gifting thousands of dollars away to people?
Yes. I got so into the hype.
Listen, I'll hype you up, bro. I'll hype you up. Listen, I'll do a special live for you. You know, we can work something out. I'm just kidding, because I don't want anybody to go into debt to try to gift things, but that's crazy.
You know, you drop that $500, 100 subs, everybody goes crazy, and, they hype you up, and I got so into it. I don't know, it just kept happening. I just kept doing it, and I wasn't keeping track. I wasn't paying attention. As soon as one credit card max, go straight to another one.
Over what course of time? How long did it take you to acquire this debt?
It was over a year.
A year?
Bro, I'm having a hard time with it.
Same.
I'm having a hard time with it. Like, so...
I feel like they don't get it because they're like a little bit older, but I could see how this could happen. I myself have gifted people on TikTok before, not to this level at all, just like a little heart here, a rose there. But I get into live and I'm like, oh, I want them to win this little battle or whatever. So I'll send, something, but I never spend over like $20 or $1 or, $50K. That's crazy. So I get how like someone who is not like within TikTok or like those type of circles heavily will just be like so flabbergasted and not able to believe that it can happen, but it can happen.
Are you married?
I am. I'm married. I have kids, and that was the hardest part was once I realized how bad it was, and I
Dude, you would know, man. Alex, you would know. Like, maybe if you're sitting there trying to explain this to your wife or something, she'll buy this. But you had to actually go open new credit cards.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't just open your eyes and there was $50,000.
Right.
Well, no. So the credit cards were old ones that we had zero balance on, that we had used from years prior when during COVID we were using. My wife wasn't able to work, so it was just my income that was supporting us. And mortgage rates in Colorado are not very good at all, and they haven't been for a long time. And we just basically were using credit cards to kind of survive. Once we came out of that and she was able to start working, we were able to pay them down. We even refinanced that
And then you ran them up again on Twitch.
house at one point to be able to get some money back to.
So let me ask a little bit of a more tactical question. You've got $50,000 in credit cards. You've got to make minimum payments.
Yes.
Is that what raised the flag to her? How did she not notice, hey, there's hundreds of dollars going out every month in minimum payments?
Right.
I'm guessing you guys keep the money separate so she couldn't see that?
Well, so I actually went and opened up a checking account on the side.
Oh, Lord.
So that way I could have some of my paycheck.
Right, but she's...
Listen, that's addiction behavior. Now you're being sneaky. Now you open up secret bank accounts from your wife because if you have all the money in one account, she's going to start noticing things going on. Now you got, 10% going over to this account, 90% going over to this account, so you can fund your Twitch gifting addiction. And you're not getting anything out of this. At least like if you're a gambling addict, you have just kind of this idea that maybe one day you'll hit it big and you'll have some kind of a return on it. But you're just giving the money away. Oh no, sir.
Still seeing hundreds of your... She's still seeing, hey, hundreds... There's a lot less money coming in than there used to be. And that didn't raise any red flags?
Right.
For her? I'm just trying to understand the landscape of your marriage.
All I can say is that we were never really good with finances when it comes to keeping track. As long as we knew we had money to do things and pay things, we weren't really paying attention as much as, like, I never really cared what she was spending money. She never really cared what I was spending money on. and it didn't get to that. Like I said, she didn't realize.
So like $500 or $800 could be gone and her not even notice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bro, Jade and I make a lot of money, and
I would.
I'm telling you right
I'm
now.
like a bird dog. I know if money's missing. Sheesh.
All right, so how can we help, man?
Yeah.
So, I mean, at this point, I mean, the basic thing is I'm just terrible with money, obviously, and I have no idea what I'm doing.
But that's not
the problem.
That's not the problem, bro. Like, you're living in an altered reality.
Yeah.
Like, you have to go get beneath that. Like, if we take you at your word, which I'm telling you right now, I've just been doing this for too long, I'm struggling with it. If I take you at your word, and when MasterCard said, I can't let you have any more money, and then you went and opened up another account to keep paying that bill, and this isn't just, oh my gosh, I was just clicking on something and suddenly I was $50,000 in the hole. You knew step by step by step along the way, I'm going to keep going down. And if I take you at your word, something about watching other people play video games and you giving them $500 at a time brought you more life, made you feel more alive than your own home, than your own life that you're creating here. That's what you have to deal with. Because that's a case of you are living this quiet life of desperation, and these little, I can't even wrap my head around this. And like, dude, my whole career has been sitting with people who've made some wild choices, and I've never heard this. Not $50,000. I've seen 5,000. I've seen like 10.
I wonder what John Deloney would say about the woman who spent $900K. I know he'd have a conniption, because if he acted like this over $50K, I just know he would be going crazy overhearing about a woman who spent $900,000, like almost 10 times the amount on TikTok gifting.
I've never seen $50,000. The second thing is then you're a guy that doesn't tell his wife the truth.
Exactly.
The third thing is you're a guy that put his kids financially at risk. Those are the things we need to deal with.
I didn't think
Alex,
of that.
are you telling us that you're done? Like, you've called in to talk about the money aspect of this. So that makes me think, okay, he thinks he's finished with this behavior. What is causing you to think that you're finished with this behavior is what I want to know.
Right.
Otherwise, what I tell you is not going to matter at all.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've started doing family counseling, marriage counseling. I've deleted all my accounts. I've given my wife access to every single thing that I have.
Okay.
Did you give her the receipts?
Yes, I gave her access to every single bank account so she can look at the history, see it.
Okay, so they're basically like wrapping up and they're about to play some music. I don't know if it's copywritten or not, but yeah, I didn't even think about the kid part. Like, you're putting everybody at risk. $50,000. How are you? He's gonna have to be working, pretty much all day, every day for the next however long to get that paid off. And if I was his wife, I would be so pissed. Now, I wonder if he's, so there's this, like, I guess you would call it a fetish, where guys just like to give their money away. They call them P-I-G, I think that's what it's called. I don't know if women are into it too. Could be, I'm not sure. But they literally will just like give all their money away. Now, I don't know if they're going into debt to do this, but I wonder if that's a part of it. Maybe it's like kind of like that, but it kind of sounds like he's addicted to that rush that he gets, like when he gifts something and everybody gets excited and then he feels good about himself, like, I'm that one, like, yeah, I did 500, yeah. That's what it sounded like. And now I'm trying to think, maybe I should get on Twitch, child. They giving it away like that over there. Anyway, so that's that one. We have a third story. This is from Business Insider. It's an article that I found when I was like trying to look for something else to put into this video. This woman spent her inheritance on TikTok live streamers. So let's read this article. I had to spend $1 for a subscription to Business Insider to read this. So this is actually from December 27th of 2023. And the subheading is Cindy White spent more than $25,000 looking for companionship on TikTok. All over the internet, people say TikTok's live matches have a dark side. Before losing most of her inheritance on TikTok, Cindy White wasn't very interested in social media. White, a 65-year-old former insurance investigator who lives alone in Burlington County, New Jersey, spent the year she retired traveling, dining in Dubai, sipping cocktails by the sea in Montego Bay, Jamaica, or strolling among monks in Kathmandu, Nepal. But in 2020, the pandemic halted her jet-setting lifestyle. She'd suddenly found herself profoundly lonely. Most of her friends were from work, and her closest relatives, a brother and a nephew, lived over 80 miles away in Upper Montclair, New Jersey. Her only real company was her cat, a green-eyed tabby named Bella. To pass the time, she spent months writing poetry and rap-inspired lyrics about feeling isolated from the rest of society. Then, just as the world was opening up again, in March 2021, she ripped her rotator cuff while lifting heavy boxes, plunging her into further isolation as she recovered. That's when she downloaded TikTok and started watching the app's live matches. Launched in 2020, live matches, colloquially known as TikTok battles, is a fast-paced live streaming format where creators compete against each other for likes and virtual gifts. White was immediately enthralled. The matches imitate a video game. Two TikTokers stream side by side, divided into red and blue teams. As a timer counts down from 5 minutes, they go to wild and kooky lengths to get their fans to send them these gifts. Many sing and dance, some beg, plead, or throw tantrums, and others cheer on their fans like rabid soccer moms. Viewers purchase each TikTok gift, animated emojis of various creatures and symbols on the platform's store. A rose costs just 1 cent, but high rollers can splurge $500 on a TikTok universe gift, which pops out a screen-encompassing spaceship that circles a sparkling globe while a short jingle about uniqueness and teamwork plays in the background. Each gift has a corresponding number of points depending on its cost. Fans can also like an influencer's stream to boost their points, but it doesn't earn them nearly as much as gifts. The battler who receives the most points at the end of the match wins. Okay, so again, as I was saying before, like for people who are not familiar with like how TikTok lives work, they explained it pretty well in this article. You gift somebody, like it's kind of hard to explain when you're not like actually on the platform, but imagine like you've probably seen it on YouTube as well, because YouTube you can do like I think it's called super chats on YouTube, or if somebody is on YouTube live, you can buy like a super chat. It's very similar to that, except on TikTok, it comes with like this animated thing. It could be like a bear dancing on the screen, or you might have seen like where the person talking like a hat with like a mustache will come on their screen, or like it's just like different like animations that come on the screen. And this happens when people buy it and then they send it to the creator. So like on TikTok, there's like a little gift icon on the bottom right. You click it and then it opens up this like gift store, and it shows you like the amount for each gift, and then you just pick one, you click send. Sometimes you have to like put in your credit card information if it's not already in TikTok in order to purchase it, or to purchase more credits, and then you send it to them and it displays on their live. So yeah, and a lot of people make a lot of money on TikTok live. Some people, that's just all they do is just go live on TikTok, which is crazy. I don't have the energy to do that, but hey, for people who do have the energy, it's like, hey, if that's what you want to do. So then the article goes on to say, top battlers on TikTok are rewarded with a place on the platform's daily ranking, a 99-person leaderboard made up of TikTok's highest grossing live streamers. These battlers rake in millions of dollars in spending from gifts, and top influencers in the US can amass as much as $328,000 in a day. A day! Listen, this video is making me rethink some things. $328,000 in one day. Just imagine if you're doing that every day. That's crazy. But the article says, though ByteDance, TikTok's parent company, keeps about half of these earnings for itself. Still, that's a great, in a day? That's several people's salary that you're making in a day. It says the platform also rewards gifters with badges, ranking them from level 1 to 50 according to how much they spend. In a nutshell, TikTok battles are the largest popularity contests on the internet. Yes, that's true. For White, the drama of it all was engrossing. Over the next year and a half, she devoted as much as 50 hours a week to TikTok battles. That's crazy. That's more than a full-time job. She'd spend her nights in the darkness of her apartment, lit only by the bluish tinge of her phone screen. That's not funny. That's not funny. I always use that as like a visual for like somebody creepy. So that's why it was funny to me in the moment. Just imagine somebody. Imagine it just dark and they're just, anyway. But in her case, that's not funny. Poor lady. She was probably just really lonely. Her fingers coiled like springs as she waited anxiously for her moment to strike. Then, seconds before a match ended, she'd hit her favorite creator with a $13 disco ball or a $29 jet ski if she planned it right, just enough to push them over the edge and win. Yeah, I mean, I've done that before, but not $25,000 worth. The chats would erupt into a frenzy and the streamer and their fans would shower her with praise. It's like somebody on TV calling out your name, especially if there's over 1,000 people in the room, White said. It really does do something to you. You feel like you're somebody. Wow. White was burning as much as $100 a day at her peak. By $100 a day, that's what, $3,000 a month? By May 2023, she had spent more than $25,000 according to transaction records and bank statements reviewed by Business Insider. I was struggling to pay my bills, she said. What started as a bit of fun, she realized, had morphed into something resembling an addiction. And so then the article goes into how social media companies in recent years have been accused of creating deliberately addicting products. The longer a platform can keep you scrolling, the more advertisements it can deliver to you, which is how they make money. They say how these design strategies are referred to as dark patterns because of their potential to manipulate user behavior, etc. And someone said it does exactly what gambling does, but you don't get anything in return. I literally said that earlier in the video. At least with gambling, you get a small chance that you'll actually get something in return. But with this, you don't get anything. So then, the article just goes more into like, the dangers of this type of stuff. Oh, wow. It mentions other people who have gifted on TikTok. So there's a quote here. Everybody says the exact same thing, that TikTok becomes more of their family than their own family, that they feel like they belong. Most gifters who spoke to Business Insider emphasized the importance of these communities, which offered them a reprieve from the isolation of their everyday lives. Sometimes White would go weeks without talking to anybody except people on TikTok. In the chat sections, they would share stories from their lives. There were a lot of isolated people, she said. When she was recovering from shoulder surgery, she was among them. Then they say, but these communities can also have a dark side. When some TikTokers lose battles, they often berate their followers or throw tantrums during a match. You know what? That reminds me of another story. And I don't want to get the details wrong, but maybe I can find it on... I feel like there's so many stories of people getting mad at the gifters for not gifting or whatever. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Okay, so I'm not able to find it right now because there's a lot of stories about gifting on TikTok. But basically, from what I remember of the story, this guy was on TikTok Live and he had a goal. So on TikTok, you can have a goal for how many of a certain gift that you want to get. And he had like a really, really big goal. But this lady on the live was like, if you reach your goal, then I will gift you a like galaxy or something, which is like a bigger, prize amount. So he was working all live to reach this goal. And she's a mother. So around the time where he actually reached the goal, he was talking to her like, oh, hey, where's my gift or whatever. And she had gone off the live temporarily because she had to go tend to her kids. So he started getting mad, like genuinely angry, crashing out because he reached his goal and the lady was not responding and giving him his gift that he was promised. And I think she ended up coming back and like seeing his response, and then I don't know if she ever gave him the gift, but then he was like turning it on her and was like, I'll hunt you down, I'll press charges. I don't know, it was some crazy stuff. He was making it seem like, oh, you promised me this, but then you backed out of the promise, so like I'm gonna press charges and ruin your life and all. Like, he started crashing out. If someone has heard of this story, put it in the comments and I'll pin your comment, because I know I saw it, but I can't find it. Anyways, he just like went crazy because he didn't get this like gift from her. I said all that to say it is true what they're saying in this article, that sometimes when people lose battles, they like throw a tantrum to their followers. Like, they start getting mad if they're not getting the gifts that they want. Like, they start berating people. Watch. It is crazy. I feel like we are literally living through Black Mirror right now with all of this stuff regarding TikTok Live and gifting and stuff. Reading through this Business Insider article again, there's other people in here who have given their experience with gifting on TikTok. So it says, gifters also said they were more likely to give influencers money if the influencers were upset, because that's how you make them feel better. We've got to show some extra love by emptying our pockets. Candy Girling, a 44-year-old former gifter who lives in the Minneapolis area, told Business Insider. So it actually works, because when apparently, according to this gifter, when the influencers get mad, they make them feel better by giving them more money. So I guess it works for some people. It don't work for me, because don't get mad at me. Another gifter, Sharina Shaw, a 29-year-old radiology student from Washington, D.C., said that gifting her favorite influencer during battles often took precedence over meeting her basic needs, such as eating, buying groceries, or even paying her phone bill. You've got to be kidding me. Shaw said she left her phone bill unpaid for 3 months. Her gifting habit eventually led to mounting credit card debt that she said she's still paying off today. That is so unhealthy. That's crazy. She said, I like to see the person I love and support smile. I like to see them win. Another person compared TikTokers who battle to televangelist preachers. You have to send in your tithe and they're speaking to you through the television like they're your best friend, she said. That's another situation where you feel like you're part of a family, but it involves money and your belonging is performed through your gifting to very charismatic people. The article says some fans frequently post videos about feeling used by creators or their abandonment when they stop sending gifts, a sentiment White shared. There are people who I stopped gifting to, and they unfollowed me and blocked me, she said. They didn't have much use for me anymore. See, it happens. Like, people will unfollow you and block you if you don't give them the money that they want you to give. In July 2022, White posted her first video to TikTok confessing that she had a problem. She said, I'm up all night. Sometimes I'm up till 4 in the morning. TikTok is doing this to me, she added before questioning her gifting habit. That summer, she also developed a special relationship with one of the streamers she donated to regularly, Rick Brown, the 54-year-old former tech executive and digital artist in Thailand. White loved watching him draw on his tablet as he streamed from tourist hotspots like the party island of Phuket or the coastal city of Pattaya. That month, the pair exchanged numbers and started calling each other regularly. While White and Brown disagree on the closeness of the developed relationship, both said they considered the other a friend. For White, they were confidants. She says, "Put it this way, he could depend on me and I could depend on him." White also said Brown discussed his recent divorce, loneliness in Thailand, and how he could attract more followers to his TikTok. In return, she said he'd praise her artwork and poems and encourage her to take and share videos of her cat on TikTok to help her gain an audience. She said, "I always had someone to talk to." For Brown, befriending viewers was an integral part of the experience he was providing. He said, "I tried to get to know everybody and memorize every single username." So for him, he's seeing it as like a transactional relationship. You give me money, I'm your friend. For her, she was seeing it as like a legit relationship. Like, oh, I gave him money and we turned into friends. The article says he claimed that it was his job to make gifters feel good and that he'd make gifting feel as amazing as possible for his viewers to keep the cash flowing. He said, "You have to understand the addiction component of it. It's no different than a casino making all the trays metal so that when the coins drop, you hear the clink, clink, clink." Oh, wow, I didn't even think of that. He compared his behavior to the sensory experience of a Vegas slot machine. Wow. The article says while he was grateful for White's patronage and said he considered her a terrific friend, he didn't believe they depended on each other. He said, "As far as the extreme closeness of the relationship goes, I'm not really sure where that's coming from. Maybe that's how she felt towards me." Oh, wow. By the fall, White had posted 2 more videos online discussing her spending problem on TikTok. Brown, it seems, had taken notice. Underneath one, he commented, "Houston?" and White responded, "We have a problem." Though, according to White, they didn't discuss her out-of-control spending until May 2023. By then, her bank statements were endless TikTok charges. On one of their calls that month, Brown brought up another gifter who also told him she had a spending problem, which led White to discuss her habit. Brown said, "It made me feel awful. It made me feel like, well, if they're addicted, then how many other people are addicted? Not just to me, but to these other creators." In response, Brown asked her not to spend any more money on him. While Brown didn't offer to return any money, he did send 3 prints of his art. He said that he told them, "My hope is my art will become so valuable that whatever you gifted me, I'm gifting you back tenfold." Then the article goes on to say quitting wasn't easy. Shortly after the conversation with Brown, White asked PayPal to block her payments to TikTok, but she immediately set up another account to buy gifts on the platform. "I had to go use another credit card just like an addict," she said. "I probably used 3 different credit cards." Yeah, that's definitely an addiction. To help wean herself off, she switched to tapping on the battle screen, sending a flurry of tiny heart emojis, fluttering up the side of the feed at no cost, or buying roses, the cheapest gift on TikTok. So again, if you're not familiar with like the TikTok live interface, if you just tap on the screen, it sends like hearts up the screen. I think they have the same thing on like Instagram or Facebook, and those are free. But the more likes a person gets on a live, the more, I guess, gets pushed out to the For You page where they can be explored by random people, which means more random people can come into their lives. So it does help. Or you can give a rose, which is like a emoji or whatever. That's like the cheapest one that you can buy. So White said her relationship with Brown also faded over the year. By the fall, he also decided to stop battling altogether. White still sent him money at least once more, believing he didn't have enough income after stopping. Not massive amounts, she clarified. "I wasn't gifting him any money because he wasn't doing live battles anymore." These days, she browses regular live streams mainly seeking out country singers. She'll reward them with a small rose in exchange for a song or to hear them say her name. She still sometimes indulges creators with a tiny splurge, though never during battles. In November, she spent $13 on a Galaxy gift for an influencer named Paulette, who live streams her life with her 6 cats. I just gave her a Galaxy because she said, "If anyone ever gave me a Galaxy, I'd probably cry," White said. "I won't do it again," she added. "I just wanted to see what her reaction was." And that is the end of the article. Oh my goodness. Like, people are really addicted to gifting on TikTok. It's kind of sad. You're spending all your money going into debt to gift someone. That's why I fully appreciate when people give me coffees, when people give me super thanks. But I had a comment the other day. Someone was like, I really want to gift you, but I just don't have the money right now. Please, please. If you don't have it, I promise you I will be okay. I promise you. You do not have to give me anything. It is completely optional. It does help me reach my goal to try to be able to do this full time. But in no way do I want you going into debt or having a lower quality of life to try and help me. No, please don't do it. It's not that serious. I promise you. I 100%. So, this is just so sad. It literally is like, if you guys haven't watched Black Mirror, I do encourage you to watch it. It's on Netflix, and the last season wasn't all that great, but the seasons before it, there are chef's kiss. There's even one episode where your status in the world and what you can buy and where you can go is all dependent on your likes and your score. It's a really good show, and it frames stuff in a way that's like incredulous, like what's going on here? But it's also like, wait, that's low key lines up with how it makes you think. It presents stuff in a crazy way, but it's also in a way that makes you think like, well, we're not too far off from what we're seeing. Anyways, I've gone on enough tangents, but just one more thing. I saw this thing, and I don't know if it's real or not. It's this device. I don't know if this is like some sort of a marketing thing. This is the website. They have this item for sale for pre-order. It's just so weird to me. It's like this AI device that connects to your phone. It can like talk to you, and like the commercial that they had for it was very like dystopian and weird and Black Mirror-ish. I don't know if it's real, but they have it for pre-order and it's $99. I wanted to order it just to see, but I'm not spending $100 on that. But it seems crazy. If it is real, this is legit a Black Mirror product. Crazy. Anyways, my apologies if this video is a little bit all over the place. I went on a couple of tangents, but the palate cleanser is gonna be really short. This is from the Petty Revenge subreddit. Ongoing petty revenge, almost a year. A year ago, I had an altercation with a guy who had blocked a bunch of people in at the local bakery due to their entitled behavior. I asked him to move so we could get out. He refused and then spat on me. Oh, that's the ultimate form of disrespect, spitting on someone. In my country, you can look up the owner of a car by their license plate number. I did this, but it was registered to a company. I looked up the company directory. Then I searched for the dude by staff photo. Got him. Then searched up his name randomly on Google. Boom, a news article about the road he lived on and how he thinks it should be private. Looked up his number in the local directory. Got it. For the last year or so, I've been calling him randomly every month or so at all hours of the night, reminding him that he spat on me and that it would never be forgotten. And it won't be. Child. Sounds like some good petty revenge to me. Nobody's really getting hurt. He just, it's a little bit of a harassment, but I don't know what I would do if somebody spat on me. That's really like the ultimate disrespect. So, hey, okay. All right, well, that is the end of today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.